Hello everybody, and welcome to My Hero Academia, chapter number 356 review. This chapter is titled, Regarding the Enemy. Now, last chapter, All for One's mask got cracked with the combined effort of Hawks, Tokoyami, and Jiro. And this chapter starts off in, the direct aftermath of that, as Hawks had just broken All for One's mask. And Jiro just starts to yell out, "Tsukuyomi, Dark Shadow, here's your big chance. I'll catch up with you later." As she pretty much takes off her coat and wraps it around Dark Shadow to make it even bigger and stronger. And Tokoyami thinks Hawks lacks the power to deliver a decisive killing blow. As he gets ready for an attack, Abyssal Black Body, Ragnarok. And he punches. That's what he does. He punches the crap out of All for One. And then as Jiro flies, she eventually catches back up with Tokoyami after he uses this attack. And Hawks is like, "You just thought they were buying time, didn't you? But even pesky gnats can be a pain in the butt." As we see now that All for One's life support mask is completely gone. There's nothing left of it. And it almost looks like All for One is gasping for air. But he says, "I needed to dodge that attack at all costs, yet my awareness was delayed. Ever since losing most of my senses, I've made a point of collecting sensory quirks that connect phenomena like vibrations or infrared radiation. As a result, I'm far more aware of the world around me than the average person. But in this case, the interference didn't come with that girl's pitiful sound attack. The real cause was my own quirks. Rebellion. This was a first. Switching to a synthetic copy, did it maybe really make me more vulnerable? Compared to my original power, my authority is weakened." And now Hawks, that's out of All for One's mind, but Hawks is now thinking, "Until now, I had to catch him off guard with sneaky moves, which wasn't enough to finish the job. But now, one click blow, and I can kill him." As we then cut to inside All for One's mind again, where he is eating all of the quirk factors, and he's just decimating the quirks inside him, calming down the rebellion, and being the one who controls all of it. As his wicked spiked crest thing just flies out of him and goes. And we see that Hawks is again very mortally wounded, as it goes and grabs all of the previous mask fragments that he had, and it brings them all back together and reconnects them on his face. And we see, good grief, as we then learn that it was Endeavor's blood the entire time, and that Endeavor had gotten back up and saved the Hawks and everybody from that, which is something that I really like, because it shows like, holy crap, we thought that Hawks had just went to protect Tsukuyomi and Jiro, but no, Endeavor was protecting all of them. But All for One says, good grief, that dog nest has left you twisted and disfigured, Endeavor, as Endeavor sort of just gets up, crushes all of these stakes pretty much, and launches with another fire attack towards him, just propelling himself forward. But we didn't see a younger version, a version of Endeavor that looked like whenever he was probably at UA in his third year. And he says to the current Endeavor, laying on the ground, he's like, "Even weaker now. Position, atonement, mistakes, responsibility. All of it has only exposed the weakness that was always there. It's painful to witness what a loser you've been reduced to. You will never be a superhero, Enji. Think back to your origin. Remember what the real enemy was. Recall how your father attempted to save a girl from some bastard and wound up as a corpse along with the girl. Think back on your envy towards true supermen and your inferiority complex. You called yourself Endeavor, as in work hard, showing your menial nature. Remember how you had to put on airs to keep that ugly heart of yours from falling to pieces. And we then see that in this sort of inner world thing, the current Endeavor gets up and puts a hand around the neck of the younger Endeavor. And younger Endeavor says again, "That's right, you'll never be All Might or Deku, because I've only ever done battle with the weakness within. So don't even dwell on some grand notion of rebirth. Go on, keep cruising to a true enemy. That weakness, that's the only thing that has kept you alive." And during all of this, like, that speech went on for about 5 pages or so. But this whole time, we see just a bunch of flashbacks. We see Endeavor and Todoroki both talking before he ever got a scar, whenever they both weren't in good graces. We see the shrine to Toya. We see Endeavor trying to make good with Natsu again. And we see Endeavor at the Hero Billboard thing just being like, "This is my responsibility and problem. Dabi is my problem." And then there's another really interesting thing in here, which is the whole idea of Endeavor's father. And I'll read the line again. It was, "Remember what the real enemy was. Recall how your father attempted to save some girl from some bastard and wound up with a corpse along with the girl. And it seems like there's just a house here, and that inside this house, there was some girl and somebody fighting it, and his father, like, went in trying to beat up the dude, but couldn't control his fire powers and murdered all of them." And we see a young Inji just standing there, just looking out, and just tears are running down his face as the rain also gets all over his head too. And this whole time, like, we see him writing down his hero name of Endeavor, and just that thing of, you've just been trying to deal with everything on the inside. Your father was the one who started this. You wanted to be somebody who wouldn't be like him, who could protect people if need be, but you just messed up so much. You made many mistakes with Toya. You had a responsibility that you're not even going through with. You try to atone for what you do, but you just can never get it. And it's just a really interesting thing, and I mean, to this whole idea of this Endeavor redemption arc that we've been having for a long time, with just this idea of everything that's going on. And in the last 2 pages of the chapter, we see that Endeavor has just grabbed all of his firepower and punched All For One again. And he says, "Dogged? Yeah, I sure am. Which is why, as long as I'm alive, I'll never take a solace in a job well done. Putting an end to this fight is my duty." As we see Endeavors, we've never seen him before, on this last page, page 15. And he's just got, like, all of the facial hair drawn on him, and just, he's obviously just not ready to do this, but he is. He's ready to beat into this so he can just finally confront this weakness once and for all, and hopefully just make sure that the new generation won't have a problem with this. And that's where this chapter ends. I mean, it's a really interesting thing to see Horikoshi putting so much into Endeavor here, and just the whole thing of, alright, we're going to have Tokoyami attack at the beginning, we're going to have Hawks try to attack again. It's the thing about, okay, so the synthetic copy of quirks makes it worse compared to the original quirk that Shigaraki now has. And then All For One just decimating those quirks, trying to braille on the inside. And then that fake out of the blood with Hawks and Endeavor. It's really crazy just how it all puts together and how much sense it really makes. And yeah, I can understand why people don't like this chapter, and to be honest, on my first reread, I didn't really like it too, but as I've read it a few times, I really think that it's a good chapter. And the thing of, that's the only thing that's keeping you alive, is that weakness. You want to beat your own internal weakness, which I think is a great message in general. So yeah, but that's the chapter. More Endeavor versus AFO next time, because I don't think the battle's over now, but we'll see. Alright, thanks for watching, and this is Glowplasma231 out.